Yes, right, I am live. Not that I can hear you anyway. Welcome to part 35. Okay. Sorry to interrupt you two. I'm going to go and chat with Minfilia. Yay. Oh yeah. Always fun to talk to Minfilia. Hello Minfilia. Guardian of Eorzea. Minfilia has some correspondence she wishes to share with you. Oh joy. Now that the matter of Ramuh has, for the present, been put to rest, there is something I would show you, Mino. This is a letter of thanks signed by the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance, acknowledging the Scions' tireless service to the realm. It mentions in particular the names of all the defeated primals: Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Good King Moogle Mod XII, Leviathan, and now Ramuh. Needless to say, there's only one among us, our number, to have faced them all. And those words of gratitude are addressed to the Order as a whole. I feel they are meant for you above all others. To you, I too must offer my heartfelt thanks for all that you have done. In the course of your duties, you have never once failed to answer my call to arms. Well, it's not like I got a damn choice. You are a true hero, Mino, and Eorzea is much the safer for your presence. Pray do not misunderstand me. I said safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Scions may be riled upon to sow chaos in the realm until such time as they are forced to stop. Even without their encouragement, you may be rest assured that man would foment strife on his own, and that is to say nothing of the beast tribes. Unless we learn to live in harmony, the primals too will return to plague us again and again and again. Nothing like a repeated cycle. And yet, despite all of this, your deeds serve to inspire the people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow, and there is no greater gift. That we have the courage to strive for what might otherwise seem an impossible peace. We owe in no small part to the dangers you have faced on our behalf, and the people you have won over to our cause in doing so. Our list of enemies are ever long. I think of the allies to whom we are now blessed. Of the Scions of little solace, of who wish naught of conflict. Of Alice, who strives to unearth the terrible secrets of the calamity. Yeah, we've already done that. And then there is Sid and the Fellowship of Noah, racing to unlock the mysteries of the ancient Alleg, which we might have spared the horror of another ultimate weapon. Yeah, done that one too. Of course, when speaking of our greatest allies, we must not forget those closest to us, by which I mean our fellow Scions, who do bugger all. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our Order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Scions, and combat it we shall. Your enthusiasm is truly heartwarming, Acadent. even our embarrassing wealth of allies. I trust it will not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. Hello, Alphinaud. Alphinaud, I take it the troubles in Ul'dah no longer require your attention. There are yet some rumblings of discontent, but the era of simmering violence is largely dissipated. 'Tis a report such that I stand before you now. That, and to speak of you concerning a new organisation we discussed. I have a message for you from You recall the refugee girl, the one whose parents were missing. They were found unharmed. She wishes me to pass on her thanks to you. Why, Alphinaud? I am to understand that you made the effort to remember the poor little girl's name. I look forward to reading all about her in your report, and I hope you left nothing out. I know. You have been away from Revenant's Toll for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest that you put the affairs of the realm to one side for the moment and take the opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town? Which reminds me, one of the Roman children recently inquired as to your whereabouts. Eorzea was his name. I believe he was some small matter he wishes to share with you. Why not oblige him with a visit? He wanted to become an adventurer. You can take an arrow to the knee. Yeah, take an arrow to the knee. I was once an adventurer like you. I was once a warrior of light, and then I took a light arrow to the knee. Yes, he used to be Dragon Ball, eh? Oh, cool. Look, it's Miss Mino. She's back from her adventures. We heard you were off fighting primals, and they are some of the strongest enemies that you have ever faced. I wish I could have seen you in battle. Well, you would have been. Well, if you did, then you would have become tempered, and then I would have to kill you. That would have been tragic. Anyway, we all wanted to be heroes too, so we formed our own Doman Adventurers Guild to protect all the Domans. Oh, do you think you could train us today, Miss Mino? Maybe you could show us how you fought the primals. What's all this commotion then? Mr. Boulder and Mr. Cornelet. Did you know that Miss Mino is back? So it would seem. Welcome home, Mino. My companion and I have recently become full members of the Scions, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I am known as Horay Boulder. The bookish fellow is called Cornelet. Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we have taken it upon ourselves to instruct the Doman younglings in the arts of combat. And I told you, Mr. Boulder, we're not younglings anymore. We are adventurers. And we were just asking Miss Mino if she could give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside her, don't you? Well, you've certainly been diligent in your drills, but I'm afraid that the fiends of Mordona are still even so slightly too dangerous for you. I have a counter-proposal. If I were to cross swords with Mino, a demonstration of skill of arms, if you will. Hooray. If I didn't know you better, and I do, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against a legend. Haha, well, perhaps I am. But what matters is the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson. What say you, Mino? Could you consent to a spar with me? Sure, I'll kick your ass. Hooray. We'll have a tournament. Come on, everyone, we must prepare our gear for an outing. Do not try to disappoint them, huh? Have faith, Corfinet. I shall summon every ounce of my strength to make this a worthy contest. The fields to the east of the town should prove suitable for our purpose. I very much look forward to our bout. Poor soul. He doesn't know what he's getting into. I mean, I'm the warrior of light. I fought a giant robot. I died in countless trials, and let other people carry it and carry me. I mean, I defeated numerous things. I never noticed these guys up here before. What are they looking out for? Okay, time to beat up Rogan. Okay, hooray, Boulder. Let's go. 'Tis was good of you to agree to this, Mino, and I trust you are ready to begin. Yeah. Very well. Let us not keep the younglings waiting any longer. Hooray. Are you certain you wish to fight her alone? This is Mino you face. What better way to test my mettle? Pray allow me to attempt the first round unaided. After all, it was his hero's legend that led me to join the Scions to begin with. Without Mino to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Your point is very well made, but remember this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear the contest will end too swiftly, I shall add my spells to your blade work. Hello. You haven't begun yet, have you? Either. What? Who are all these people? When I heard that you were a sparring match, I told everyone I could find. Thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on. Yes, and there's still more to come. When I mentioned Mino's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. Why, my own popularity seems to be but a sickle shade in comparison. Your best claim victory, bringer of light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake. Well, a teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. You can win, Master Boulder. We shall soon see. On your guard. Wait, is that it? One fester and you're down? Oh no, he looks hurt. This mine's so strong, but you can't give up, Master Mr. Boulder. You can't disappoint the enemies. You should have stayed down, Sunshine. You have bested me. I yield. Gasp. That was incredible. She beat them both at the same time. We knew you couldn't lose, Mino. None can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Now I see why they send you to deal with the primals. I've much work to do to even attempt to do the same. Impressive as always, Mino. Tis was ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. And judging by the smiles on these many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the peril of the realm at bay. Guardian of Eorzea. Yes, that's the most fitting title. Do you recall when we first met? It was at the memorial service of the Battle of Cartagena. Yeah, your obsession with flags and shit. At the time, I was yet attempting to understand the land of Eorzea. I sought to grasp the reason why my grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I shall speak plainly. My initial impressions were less than favourable. Dire problems abounded, and yet efforts I saw expended towards their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought the Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Well, you are, Charlian. We're just smug arseholes. Well, they are. Considering the shambles that the home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius and the order he proposed to enforce. The Legatus' single-minded military invasion precluded any such swift switching of loyalties, of course. Were it not for a desire to continue grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, the nations too self-involved and unstable. It was you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. It was you who taught me such countless acts of bravery that my grandsire sought to preserve what was not the land, was not the land nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people. These wonderful, often infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Though he never put such feelings into words, I believe grandfather's admiration for this inexhaustible courage grew into a fervent wish, a wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. A wish that has now become my own. I too will endeavour to take up the mantle of Guardian of Eorzea and to champion these people who toil towards a better world. Of course, however, it's not a simple one. Troubles that plague us are of a scale that cannot be resolved by the signs of the seventh dawn alone. No, what is needed is to tackle the root of the primal threat, effectively counter the schemes of the Scions. Is a new, expanded organisation that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you could aid me in building such an organisation, then pray let us return. Let us continue this discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. The Crystal Tower. I have done that. Oh yeah, I've done the Crystal Tower. Shh. I can't hear you, but shh. It is part 2, but not gonna get there for a while. Second best expansion. Okay, Alphinaud. Alphinaud main. We need to go on there and see what the state of that is now with all the destruction they've added. I bet the Americans still won't get out of their base, and the Russians are deploying loads of mortar stations just outside their base, just shutting the shit out of them. You too could experience Alpha Mine. Thank you for coming, Mino. The world shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. While I propose the formation of a new organisation, a group that shall pave the way for a truly united Eorzea. Okay, Alphinaud, what you got in mind? We're recruiting the realm. Alphinaud wishes to request your assistance for his new endeavour. Pray forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I would first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the 7th Astral Era, the leaders of the three nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring the desperate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such an institution would be drawn from every corner of the land, directed against threats that no single nation could hope to overcome. Right, I'm going to go and because I want to talk over 3 people. I'm going to go and make my little chat for my stream. I'll be back when I finished it. It would be rude for me to talk over 3 people. Alright, I shall return. Now, I'm fine, and we'll be back in about half an hour. I just think it'd be rude for me to chat over all of you. That would be rude and unfair to chat over 3 people who are trying to chat while me reading text. Okay, let's try and get through this as quick as possible. Yet while the proposal of this hypothetical organisation is undisputed, the logistics of its formation have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus towards a unification draining away. Thus, I have been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. It will be on the march in much smaller scale than we have hoped to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of unrestricted operation accorded to the Scions. It is my hope that the successful organisation of such a force will lend momentum to the lagging deliberations. Also, being a primarily military outfit, I mean to assuage fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organisation under the authority of the Acadent. The Scions work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. But as you yourself have witnessed with refugee revolt, there are limitations to what even we can achieve. With this new company under the Scions command, however, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. Excuse me. Yeah, my mic's okay. I just wondering if it was too low. Okay. Sorry about that. The goals of my proposed organisation and those of the Scions are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before I could move forward with establishing this precursor to the true, border-spanning Grand Company, it is yet necessary that I visit the three leaders and gain their official approval. A tiresome and time-consuming task which I would ask that you accompany me on the journey and attend to business of recruiting our inaugural members while I otherwise engage with the bureaucratic formalities. Thank you. It is reassuring indeed that I know that the bringer of light and her discerning eye will be selecting of our future allies. First destination is Nimsa Namosa. Let us rendezvous at Bulwark Hall. Bulwark Hall. Let's go to Nimsa Namosa. No, it's not. It's over there. Oh, there you are. I'm ready to ascend the bridge and speak with Admiral Bosawin. While the Admiral and I are finalising preliminary boundaries and signing parchments, I would have you begin the recruitment process in earnest. I have, of course, endeavoured to spread the word of our organisation through various channels, but I believe the personal approach will reach many who are otherwise remain ignorant of the opportunity. As for potential members, 'tis no matter should they have already be placed to another institution, only if they are willing to lend their strength when the situation demands it. You needn't range into the countryside. The upper decks alone are populated with sufficient candidates to suit our purpose. Once you're satisfied with your recruiting efforts, meet me at the airship ticket counter and we might prepare for our next leg of our journey. Okay. We've got one up there, one up there. So we'll go up here and sort to these two. An organisation with the freedom to operate with territorial impunity. I must say your proposal intrigues me, but the Krakens are well known that there's time to act and a time to watch, and I'm afraid this trial company of yours falls into the latter category. Master Alphinaud's new organisation. Yes, I have heard the formation of his trial company was in the offering. 'Tis with regrets, however, that I must decline your invitation. As commander of the Yellow Jackets, the protection of Limsa Lamosa must needs receive my full attention. Papaya, papaya, papaya. Din, 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 din. Bushman? Who in the bloody hells are you to think you're talking to, Drylander? I'm a pirate, not a sodding knight in shining plate. If you're looking for self-righteous flop, try knocking at the dandy Cavenden's door. Precursor to a united Eorzean Grand Company. While I do admire the scope of Ramuh and your ambition, my responsibilities here at Naquin Vermelis will keep me close to the forge. I have not the time to be transferring hither and yon across the realm. Should you require my skills as an armourer, however, I might be willing to accept some special commissions. Oh, this is going well. Well, if it ain't Mino. I did not forget the venturer brave enough or daft enough to seek the shortcut to Titan's bedchamber. You remember old roll, do you? Formerly in the old company of heroes, 3 whistles or a Bronze Lake. Aye, and ain't often I dragged my arse out to Limsa for a drink, but I'm right glad I did. How fare ye these days? You're looking to put together a new crew, top tier work. Aye, sounds right for luck, it does. Alright, let's count me in. The heroes may have gone their separate ways, but I ain't ready to climb into my grave just yet. Okay, so just checking something. If I walk, the war will be over. Okay, airship landing. Mino, your recruiting went well, I trust. I'm curious to how my proposal was received by tough and ready folk of Ramuh. And a member of the legendary company of heroes indicated his interest. Astonishingly, I knew enlisting your aid was the right choice. Few could boast the acquaintance of such an elusive character. I too was successful in my task and consented to sign all the documents requiring her approval. I can only hope that my visit with the elder Eorzea proceeds smoothly. Pray continue on Gridania on your own pace. I shall await your arrival at Nefertiti's altar. My audience with the elder Eorzea is due to commence momentarily. I would be grateful if you would once more seek the task of recruiting here in Gridania. After you deem the well of potential candidates has run dry, let us pray rendezvous at the airship ticket counter as before. Oh gods, can it truly be you? But what fickle fortune must I face to see you upon my release be yours? Huh? Could it be that you don't remember me? That is I, Laurentus, the man whose crimes you exposed. I was a whaler and regular patron at Bascolin's. Yes, now I remember. Well, of course you do. I was beginning to wonder if the gal had changed me more than I realised. Not that I had any particular wish to be recognised after my shameful conduct. The less said about my past the better, I suppose. And what of you, adventurer? What business brings you to this part of Gridania? Recruiting, huh? And what is your policy on reformed convicts? As the matter stands, the wood waders will have naught more to do with me. This is my way of just for a second chance I was looking for. Revenant's told you, say? I shall leave at once. You shall not regret this, I promise you. I am a changed man. Yeah. Okay. It is not often the guild officer such as myself gets recruited, and this company of yours certainly sounds to have some promise, but its duties appear less than focused. I must refuse your invitation until such a time the organisation is more organised. You would offer this old man a place in your company of champions. I am both puzzled and honoured by your invitation. Pray forgive me, young mistress, but I cannot accept. I have sworn to abide here for whatever scant years remain to me, and bear the responsibility for the evils my lady had brought upon this land. Grandfather, as you must call it a day, let us return to the guild and rest ere your tormented back gives up and for good. I'm terribly sorry. We were just... Oh, Mino, isn't it? There's been some time since our paths crossed outside the Copperbill mines. Why, you were barely more than a novice adventurer then, but look how you've come. Mother Menone tells me 'twas you who felled the fearsome black wolf. And now you seek a stout heart to fill the ranks of your new order. Well, your cause is undoubtedly just, and my old companion here would be much relieved to see me in good hands. Yes, I'll do it. This is the very thing I've spent my entire adventuring career working towards. I shall join your company just as soon as I've seen the Eorzea safely home. Okay. To the airship. And there we have his Ul'dah. What news, Mino? For my part, the older Seer was most amenable to our requirements. A former wood whaler and a seasoned adventurer. Our company will not lack for variety. That is much is certain. An interesting harvest indeed. We shall strike into Ul'dah most whilst the iron is hot. Let us meet at the Royal Promenade and endeavour to continue our remaining business. Our journey draws to a close. Ul'dah, the gilded city, where one's fortune defies one's worth. I hope that some manner of fortune is with us, and this is the final leg proves as successful as the previous two. Might I suggest descending into the lower levels before beginning your recruitment efforts? I do not think the Sultana would take kindly to us poaching her from her personal guard. Let us meet back at the promenade when your respective tasks complete. Good hunting, Mino. Guild first. Woodward. Wait. You're the lady who came to a little enemy looking for the masked devil. Who knows what might have happened if you hadn't? I'd probably be dead and a whole lot more than my friends. Besides, we were such fools. Any road. That disaster really got me thinking about our homeland and about the outsiders who saved us from ourselves. I realised now how easily I'd been manipulated and vowed to make myself a more worldly man. So here I am, a new company of champions. You say you'll take me to all corners of the realm. That's exactly like the kind of opportunity I need. Don't worry, I'm not the same stripling you met at Little Alamigo. I've prepared myself to fight the evil I now know is out there. Oh, what a happy coincidence. Do you remember me, by chance? I am Orsharin, the Church of the St. Almada Lamanda. Thank you again for your timely rescue. I must also thank you for preventing the fraudulent priest from preying on dry bones less fortunate. And the most upsetting business. And you're here with your companion Thancred, wasn't it? Ah, 'tis new companions you seek then. Your proposed organisation sounds powerful force for good, but my place is at the church with the children. Nevertheless, I wish you well in this undertaking. I'm sorry, you wish to recruit me. Is there some new fashioned manner of proposition, a lady? Well, I'm afraid you're wasting your time. This lady has already spoken for. Good day to you, miss. Aye, you'll be surprised what rumours drift down into Pearl Lane. I know this glorious new company of yours and just how far I'll go to avoid getting involved with it. Whispers on the street say your organisation is funded by a corrupt coin by the syndicate money. If you're recruiting for a just cause, then you're a bigger fool than I took you for. A company that looks to cure the ills of the realm entire. Listen, friend, I can scarce believe the complaints in the next stall over, let alone the condiments of the neighbouring nation. How fared you, Mino? What hidden gems did the streets of Ul'dah offer up to your unrelenting gaze? A single Alamegan youth. Well, you've certainly given us an admirable start, even if our ranks are yet somewhat thin. In these trouble-free years following the calamity, talk of Eorzea and salvation must be seem akin to gasping at our clouds. But there are those who have risen to the challenge. Nevertheless, And the hope that inspires these people was born in no small part from the victories you yourself had won. I thank you, Mino. I will not squander the precious gift you have placed into my keeping. These recruits will become the foundation of a new beginning. And yes, we are free to begin. As you have no doubt surmised, the Sultana has graced to have my trial company with her blessing. The first wave of recruitment is over. The documents signed and the finances secured. There is naught to prevent me from taking the next step. You are concerned by the syndicate's involvement, as was I. Thus was the origin of every coin of their contribution carefully scrutinised and recorded. This organisation will not be built on corruption. Naturally, I would prefer not to rely on outside sources at all, but even my family's substantial coffers will not sustain a venture of this magnitude. And for the rumours and doubts surrounding this enterprise, well, such things shall plague us until the company had a chance to prove its worth. It will not be an easy process, but I will earn people's trust one success at a time. Speaking of time, we should waste no time of it, and let us return to the writing stones and lay the first stone of a united Eorzea.
Tell me, General, what think you of Alphinaud's bold endeavor?
I think it is more than bold, Your Grace. His organization would pave the way for a united Eorzea. Well do I understand his impatience, since facing the common threat of the Ultima weapon, our nations have seemed farther apart, not closer together. Considering the many problems we face, should we not be glad that someone else is taking the initiative?
We have all pledged our cooperation, yet the grumbling continues behind closed doors. Ul'dah is not alone in her duplicity. I myself have doubts as to the good this organization will achieve. With the inclusion of the finest soldiers of the 3 grand companies, it promises to be a fearsome military body. But whom will it serve? Even under the watchful gaze of the Scions, it is not unthinkable that such a force could perpetrate a great wrong. Does it not concern you that a significant proportion of its financial backing came from the coffers of the Syndicate? That those unprincipled worms might forge this extraordinary gathering of warriors into a private army?
I have trust in the Scions, Your Grace. They have spared us no end of trouble at the hands of the Primals. If they seek reinforcements, I deem it unwise to deny them. As for their finances, full many gave generously. And though our nobles proffered a sizable sum, their coin did not spill from the pockets of Lolorito and his cronies. And what of the presence of our stalwart adventurer friend in this endeavor? I doubt the Warrior of Light would betray our cause.
Yes, there is that, I suppose. Yet I have known people to change. Whether we will or no, the events of the age hurl us this way and that, like a dust devil skipping across the sands. Cannot be done about Telechi?
I have explored all avenues available to us, Your Grace. But as Ul'dah law now stands, we lack the evidence to convict him of any crime. To arrest him on spurious grounds would only play into his hands.
He has all but committed treason, and yet we can do nothing? Then
Have faith, Your Grace. It is not over.
Sucks to be her. Sigh. This is not a journey I soon wish to repeat. I cannot pause to rest. The culmination of our efforts is at hand. I must see to the preparations for our inaugural ceremony. Thank you for allowing me to monopolize your services, Mino. I'm certain the academic will be relieved to see you free for other duties. Here to recall harassment. Greetings, Mino. Alphinaud tells me that all is in place to begin his trial company. The Scions shall all certainly be grateful to have support for such an organisation. The inaugural ceremony is set to take place here at the Rising Stones. Tatara is cooperating with Alphinaud to see that all is in readiness, so I'm afraid the recruits themselves have been left on their own devices for the time being. Quite a number of new faces have arrived in Revenant's Toll of late, and I wonder if Staffball might have not found himself overwhelmed. Would you speak with him and see if there's aught he requires? Staffborn. What can I do for you, Mino? I thought you had your hands full helping me out with this new arm of the Scions. I can barely notice your recruits arrived. 'Tis was barely a tickle compared to the flood of treasure hunters we have passed through these here every day. Well, I appreciate your offer of aid. 'Tis more burden we concerns me. I'm told this trial company will answer directly to the academic, so I trust that means less work for you in the long run. Staffborn, the shipment, we couldn't. God's woman, what befell? We were bringing shipment from Revenant's Toll, provisions earmarked for the frontiers effort. But just as we crossed over into Mordona, we were set on by brigands. I believe they may have been heretics. There were many, too many. We only escaped with our lives by abandoning the supplies. Pray forgive us. There's naught to forgive. Provisions can be replaced, but smart soldiers are hard to find. Take your rest and I'll have someone along to tend to those wounds. What to do? If heretics are involved, this is more like the case of simple thievery. Ishgard will need to be informed. Whence did these supplies originate? House for temps who were collecting provisions from Camp Dragonhead proper. Understood. I shall see that they bear apprised of this development. Mino, were you not on good terms with the Knights of House for Temps? I will be sending them a missive immediately, of course, but it will also have you travel there and offer your considerable talents. Yes, I realise I contradict my earlier hopes of lightening your load, but I need someone who can help bring this incident to a satisfactory conclusion. A formidable relationship with Riskard is far too important to risk half measures. Thank you for your understanding. I'm certain Lord Harshenfort will be glad of your assistance. Harshenfort! Hello, buddy. Well, if it isn't my fine friend Mino Ikea. Would you care for a plate of roast crack or cracker coal? Some mulled wine? No? Oh, I see you've not come into my hall merely to escape the biting cold. I was, in fact, on the verge of opening an urgent missive from Reverend's Toll, but I suspect the time of your arrival is no coincidence. They were attacked by heretics.
The incident with the new frontier hands? No, you need not elaborate. I have been following their progress with no small amount of interest. Brave men and women all. They do our nation a great service. The existence of a fortified outpost in Mordona will do much to dissuade the Empire from trespassing on Kurthus soil. Right glad am I that you have chosen to lend your support to this endeavor. Never let it be said that House Fortom does not acknowledge the efforts of her allies, or her debts. 'Twas in the spirit of gratitude that I arranged for sundry supplies to be delivered to Revenant's Toll. That the shipment should chance to be waylaid by heretics is poor fortune indeed. Poor fortune, I say. Yet not without precedent. If you would know the truth of it, these incorrigible villains grow more organized with each passing day. This new unity of purpose we attribute to their leader, the Lady Iceheart. But though I have devoted significant resources to the task of identifying this woman, we have yet to learn so much as her birth name. What we do know is that the heretics speak of Iceheart in reverent tones, and would gladly embrace death rather than betray her. Such loyalty is rare indeed, and I fear to imagine what so committed a collective might achieve. The brigands have not yet been so brazen as to risk direct confrontation here in Dragonhead. Some few of their number have, however, been sighted not far to the west of here, and with ever-increasing regularity. A visit to Whitebrim Front may bring you the answers you seek. Will you brave the snows, knowing what implacable foes may lie in wait? Halone's blessings be upon you. Though I take no pride in the admission, many of mine own countrymen are not so well suited as you adventurers to dealing with such foes. Were they dragons, it might be otherwise. But truly, I could not wish for a finer ally. You have done much for my house in the past, and I have no doubt but that I shall have cause to celebrate your deeds again ere long. Should you learn aught of value, pray return to me forthwith. A warm hearth and a warmer welcome shall be waiting for you.
Anything for you, Harshan, for anything for you, mate. Hello, Drummond. Mino, welcome, welcome. You will be pleased to know that the repairs at Stonebridge will proceed apace. We shall rebuild store and strong, and that the Dravians might better batter themselves senseless against our shield in the west. I would venture, however, that matters of masonry are not what brought you here to Whitebrim. On the trail of a band of thieving heretics, are you? You say? By the Fury, why do you seem destined to cross paths with those villains? I must confess the sad truth that the wilds hereabouts have indeed grown thick with their numbers. They strike swiftly without warning and are canny enough to evade our most amiable trade frackers. But 'tis not merely their newfound organisation that confounds us. The heretics themselves seem somehow changed. I know not of the manner of influence this ice heart wields, but the men we face seem utterly lost in the grip of righteous fervour. 'Tis an unsettling and unnatural zeal. Mayhaps you could care to question one of their recent victims. As fate would have it, your arrival came moments after a trader was waylaid on the road. Patrol found the unfortunate fellow lying senseless in the snow and had carried him to our infirmary. Assuming he has regained the use of his faculties, the merchant might recall some small detail that could aid you in your task. Remember when he wouldn't talk to us because he thought we were heretics? Pembridge Farms remembers. Tell you what happened? Why, yes, of course. I'm quite recovered enough for that. Anything to help catch those cowardly Blackhearts. I was travelling my usual route to Whitebrim Front when suddenly a blow sent me reeling. The next thing I knew, I was on the ground and several heretics were rifling through my cargo. Arms, armour, crystals. They were taking everything. 'Tis was then that one of them noticed my barely gaze and stalked over the matter and to better acquaint my head with his mates before darkness claimed me. However, I distinctly heard the words, "Return to Snowcloak." I dare say that is where they've been hauling my goods. They were hurling my goods, but you will not catch me rushing off in pursuit. They told me 'tis was a miracle I survived it all, and I will not trust my thick skull to save me a second time. Search the wilds of Snowcloak and defeat any heretics you encounter. Big with their house, do with their night. Gah, draw your weapons, foul. Wait, I recognise you, venturer. You are here, you are come seeking heretics. Then we share a common purpose. We are on patrol when we chanced across one of their raiding parties and pursued them here. By rights we should have had them cornered in this ravine, and yet they are gone, vanished like icy wraiths. You glimpsed a woman atop of the cliff. Could it be Iceheart herself come to sneer at our folly? If and to where she disappeared, the heretics must have discovered a passage through the frozen wall, some hidden tunnel that escaped our notice. We are not meant to risk a further investigation. It would be best if we return to Whitebrim Front and lay our suspicions before Lord Relevant. They spent all that money to voice that section, and all she went was, And yet, Alphinaud's entire bloody speech in the last part could have had him talking, his voice actor, and no, it's not my money. Mino, it appears that I owe you my thanks once again. The surviving knights spared no detail in their report. The men you found out near Snowcloak were some of my finest. That they should be bested so handily. I fear I have woefully underestimated the threat of these heretics pose. While I understand you might balk at the notion, I must ask that you put aside your mission and consider the stolen provisions lost to us for now. It would be ill-advised to blunder unprepared into what may very well be the lair of our enemy. Pray return to the Dragonhead and inform Lord Harshenthorpe of your discoveries. He will wish to plan a contingency of his own. As for Iceheart and the Fanatics, the freezing heights of Snowcloak will not shield them from our justice for long. I'm lazy, I know. Impressive jumping skills to the wrong side of the map.
Your return is most timely. Of their own accord, my thoughts had turned to your task and the progress thereof. I confess my imaginings tended toward the grim and bloody. But you are here now, and I suspect such frivolous wanderings do little justice to the reality of your travails. Tell me, what did you learn of Iceheart?
Not much.
Indeed. And this transpired at Snowcloak? Of all the highlands, that towering wall has borne the worst of the region's brutal shift in climate. So inhospitable has Snowcloak become that we have still to survey the area in its entirety. Could its frozen heights conceal the heretics' hideaway? Mayhap a more robust reconnaissance effort is in order. putting such considerations aside for the moment, we still know far too little of this Iceheart. That she is capable of commanding such a band of fanatics bespeaks natural authority, and no small measure of charisma. As much as I would like to fathom this mystery with you, the situation has grown beyond my personal purview. I am bound by duty to inform the Temple Knights and request that they bring this matter to its conclusion. Given the glowing reports the new commander has garnered thus far, I am certain that they can be relied upon to take appropriate action. Though Iceheart's true identity yet eludes us, you have provided us with a point from which to begin. Sometimes it takes but a single stone to prompt an avalanche. On the matter of the stolen provisions, I have already made arrangements for a second shipment to be sent to Revenant's Toll. I could not well allow such an honorable venture to be undermined by one miserable setback.
Thank you, House of Thought. You're the man. Mino, it is good to see you return from the toll. How fared you in the frozen waste of Corvus? House for attempts is to send a second shipment. I must send thanks to Lord Hushinford for his continued generosity. Yet even as our town grows in prosperity, I fear it will attract even greater numbers of those who would do us harm in the name of greed or power. All of us, Alphinaud's new recruits included, must remain vigilant against such threats. Yeah, a free set of armour that we can get here. Get the Dragoon's version of it. This is one that we'll get for us. Brave new companions. While you were away in Kurthus, preparations for the inauguration ceremony were all but completed, although Tataru does seem somewhat flustered. I'll take it, I've taken enough of your time. Don't you need to head to the Rising Stones to see if your frantic receptionist could do with a hand? Tataru, you're right. These parchments need to be sorted, and these documents, why are they even here? Oh, I'm so surely tempted to file the lot into my waste paper basket. Mino, you startled me. You wish to lend me a hand? Splendid. Would you be a dear and hand these uniforms to the new recruits? They're scattered about Revenant's Toll, and I haven't the time to track them all down. The recruits know to don their garb immediately and assemble here in the Rising Stones. If you'll want to report directly back to Alphinaud if you don't want to miss the ceremony. I wonder if the Sires will ever have matching uniforms. A well-funded organisation is a well-dressed organisation, I suppose. Those who believe this company will see no riches are short-sighted fools. The giving of oneself is investment in the future. Thus did I sign my name to the cause. These uniforms are a splendid idea. Once our organisation has made its name for itself, it shall be a wealth of plenty in selling replica costumes to adoring masses. I thought it best to mimic my fellows here, but I admit I have no idea what we're supposed to be doing. Ah, my new uniforms. I'm reminded of my induction into the Wood Whalers. You know, it's true. You just stand in the middle of the street and just look up. Guaranteed, other people will also be looking up. They have no idea why they're looking up, but they'll look up. This scarlet garb marks me as a proud member of the Maelstrom and a hearty defender of Limsa Lamosa. Yet in truth I stand at the battle for the betterment of the realm. I thought this new company a fine opportunity to contribute on a grander scale. Oh-ho! Now that's a striking shade of blue. Put alongside my Maelstrom uniform, my wardrobe will certainly not lack for colour. I don't believe we have met. I am Ilberd, and I am the honour of leading my fellow recruits as captain. Much did I lose to the calamity, and I look forward to aiding others in rebuilding their lives. Uniforms are a shrewd issue, but there's no easy method of creating a common bond among them what is essentially a band of strangers. Little amigo could learn much from Revenant's toll. It is that the town can be so much alive in the midst of such desolation. I've never worn aught quite so voluminous. Well, I'm sure I'll grow accustomed to the extra cloth in time. Mino, gods, I did not expect to meet you strolling around town. The tales of your primal battles were what inspired me to become to Residence Toll. 'Tis an honour to receive this uniform from your hands. I shall wear it with pride. Hello there, lass. Looking for me, were you? I suggest giving the whistle, but I'm not sure if I hear among all this bristle. Oh, ho! Proper uniforms and all. It is a thing to cut off blood in me head. Not to worry though. I'm sure she'll make a fine making of just a few adjustments. was last retired from the adventurer's life, and I shall miss his wisdom and irrepressible spirit. I'm excited to forge my own path forwards. Ah yes, the uniform. Thank you. Truth be told, the thought of pledging myself to such a lofty organisation is somewhat intimidating. Just going to speak to Alphinaud, and then that'll end this chapter. Ah yes, Mino. Tatari mentioned you were handing out the uniforms. I assume you now met the rest of the recruits. Some few answered the call of arms I put forth through established grand companies and such. We're not yet an army, but there's as much a small core of elite warriors can achieve. Did I mention I thought of a name for the company? It is my hope that they shall soon be known across the breadth of Eorzea. The moment of truth draws near, Mino. Once the last of the recruits have gathered, I shall make the official announcement.
Comrades, your presence here this day signifies the momentous choice that each of you has made. With your strength now pledged to the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, you are beholden to no single nation. You stand as the vanguard for a united Eorzea. From this moment forth, I declare you Crystal Braves. Let us mend this fractured realm and face our enemies as one. Whether it be the Beastmen and their primals, or the conflict in Carteneau, it is plain that the nations of Eorzea cannot solve the problems which plague the realm. Thus does it fall to some few heroic souls to succeed where they have failed. Come, take your place at the Scion's side as guardians of Eorzea, and together we shall fight for the freedom of all! For the freedom of all!
A rousing speech, Alphinaud. Or should I say, Crystal Brave Commander Leveilleur?
Please, Antecedent. The title is honorary. I shall not be leading the troops into battle, as it were.
Antecedent.
We are of the same purpose. Let us join hands and do what must be done to save this land.
The Scions stand ready. I'm eager to see what the Crystal Braves might accomplish. This shall prove an interesting time indeed for the Scions. Yes, I'm listening. So our worst fears are confirmed. The entire Isle. Such power defies comprehension. Truly? Kryl is alive? Thank the 12. I see. Pray, inform me if her condition changes. Yes, I shall pass on your words to Eorzea. My thanks. I shall contact you anon. When I learned of the loss of the Isle of Val, I dared not hope that my friend had survived. Yet, by some miracle, it would seem she has. She's still to regain consciousness, it is true, but better that than death. Putting this happy news to one side, we must now endeavor to make sense of the readings taken by the survey party. It appears the etheric disturbance which accompanied the Isle's destruction is of a magnitude alarmingly close to that of Ultima. Could the Ascians be responsible for this devastation as well? I wonder, have you heard aught from the Mother Crystal since the battle with the Garleans? Then she speaks to neither one of us. Heidelin silence portends naught but ill, I fear. Louisoix, I pray you yet watch over us.
Very good. See that the provisions prepared for transport. Let us hope that this shipment is spared the fate of the lost. The winds are uncommonly fierce this day. Okay. Well, that is the end of that. Thus is the end of Defenders of Eorzea. When we return, we shall be doing the Dream of Ice, which again shall be split into parts. Shall go to the first dungeon and then onto a trial. I know when to split it, so don't worry about that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, comments are welcome, appreciate your thumbs up as well, and I will see you in part 36, part 1 of Dream of Ice. Thank you very much for watching. Ciao for now.